Hello, everybody. I am back. Welcome. This is FS 2020, and we are completing the Fly West Canada series by departing Villeneuve and going to Vancouver today. We are going to wrap up this flight, actually not using the 737 for once, for once in a long time. And actually, we're going to be flying the A320neo. This is the fly-by-wire A320neo with the stable, I think, or developer mod. I haven't updated it in a while, but it should be stable enough for me to fly FS 2020 to the Vancouver airport, which is also a mod as well. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. I am back from like a 15-20 minute break. I ate some food and I should be ready to go to complete this series. Hopefully everybody's doing well. We are at Villeneuve, Edmonton Villeneuve, which is in Calgary, which is a suburb of Edmonton. We are. Do we have a call sign? We have. I mean, we're Canada, but I don't see the registration. It's okay. I don't care. I'm going to set up a sim brief flight plan, and we're going to get going. So we're going to make a new flight. Should take me all of about maybe 5 or 10 minutes to do, and it's going to be Air Canada 197. Departing Charlie Zulu Victor Lima and arriving at Charlie Yankee Victor Romeo. That should be Vancouver. Flying the A320, and we're gonna be doing registration as November A20 Alpha Charlie. No fin number and units in kilograms for a change. Wow. Block time an hour 55, probably closer to an hour and 25 minutes because I'm not going to be spending that much time getting the plane ready. One of the benefits of not going through a bunch of what is a typical flow and setup process for the plane. But the plane's off right now. I'm going to go ahead and generate the flight and then we're going to get going very shortly. But welcome back, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a good afternoon. The earlier stream, I flew from Calgary to Villeneuve, absolutely slammed the plane down runway 08, and I'm glad I did because the runways, I think I used up like I don't know, 500 feet of whatever the 6,000 some odd feet were for the runway. I mean, we made it off the runway. We didn't overrun, but it was aggressive braking, I'll say that much. I was also coming in much faster than I should have. Not to mention that I was not configured properly. I had to manually vector myself in. So, is what it is. The flight is generated. I'm going to go ahead and import it into charts, and we should be able to pull it down from the charts and get it going. So, the NOPOC 2 departure is available. I'm going to go ahead and do I think the CAC set transition. And it says runway 16. We're not going to do runway 16 because that's just way too short. We're going to pick a different runway. So cancel that. We're going to remove that. We're going to choose runway 08 for today, which is great. We have basically winds are 11 knots down the runway. I think, no, 11 knots around like 1.5 something. So we'll add to the route. And then we're going to take the Fiber 2 departure, which actually takes me over to Fiber before I turn around and go to Vancouver. So we'll add that to the route, and then that should be that. Okay, let me go ahead and turn this airplane on and start getting everything set. I don't have the old toolbar pushback, so this is going to be a really, really weird start. We're going to go ahead and turn the batteries on. And then we're going to immediately do the fire checks. Okay. And let's see, what am I missing? Not much at this point. Let's go ahead and get the nav logo lights on. Beacon light on immediately, because again, we're going to go ahead and do
Flight
the,
attendants, arm doors, and cross-check.
going to get the APU started. APU bleed on, APU starter. That's going to give me the fuel that I need to actually get everything underway. And we'll also get the navs going at this point. And fuel supply is off.
Once again, we'd like to welcome you on board. Your safety is our top priority, so we
Don't
appreciate
mind the
you giving us your
announcements.
attention while we demonstrate the safety features of this
I
aircraft.
have not flown an A320neo in a while. This kind of feels weird and cool at the same
Please
time.
fasten your seatbelt, insert the flat metal end into the buckle and pull on the strap to tighten. To release, just lift the top flap of the buckle. Please keep your seatbelt fastened low and tight across your lap, even when the seatbelt sign is off, and have it
So let's
pulled
see.
through at
The
all times.
battery is on.
Your life vest is in a pouch under your seat, if instructed by the crew.
What else do I
Carry
need
the
to get
pouch
this thing
with the
started
strap
up
over
cold?
the back.
There we
Strap
go.
the strap around your waist. Secure the buckle and pull strap tight.
APU bleeds available. Strobe light to auto. And we will do a manual pushback because we're literally in a really tight spot. We have overheads, standby, emergency lights armed, seatbelt signs auto, no electronic signs on, or auto, excuse me. And crew supplies on, nav is on, excuse me. We should be good now. So we're 2977 for the altimeter, and we can now get going with the flight plan. So let's go to the McDo, go to ATSU, and go to the AOC menu. Let's get the flight set up. And then I can go to, I think, the next page. I can also go back to flight plan, or excuse me, init request. There we go, GPS primary. We have our navs. Let's go take a look at the tablet. And we're going to import SimBrief data. We have fuel and payload imported. We have our dispatch. Cost of the next 5, planned fuel, 4,894 kilograms. And how many passengers are we taking today? Let's see. Packs for today's flight, we're going to be taking 186 actually. Okay, how many pounds of cargo? Oh, I can't do that? That's weird. Is that everybody on the plane? Another one of those over max load things. And we are taking a payload of 19,000. Yeah, fuel, payload, pushback. You know what? I think this is already imported, but let's go ahead and double check. Fuel. Fuel is 5,200 kilograms. We want 5124 for block fuel, which is actually what I believe it is. So there we go. Take off at Charlie Zulu Victor Lima. Let's see if we can actually get this bird to take off from here. Runway 08. Runway conditions dry, and winds are what? Let's take a look at the weather. I'm looking at the briefing preview real fast. I don't have it on screen, but let me take a look at the weather at Villeneuve. Villeneuve weather, we have winds 160 at 11, gusts 18. So 160, 18. Temperature is 16. QNH is 2977. And the takeoff weight is set in this plan as 70.1 1 max, but right now it's probably closer to 68.6. So 68,000. CG standard configuration 1 plus, I think that's slats and flaps. Thrust, what am I gonna do flex? Yeah, fill it in, I think. No, we're not taking off 1.6. We're taking off 0.8. Yeah, so standard, flex, anti-ice off, packs on. Beyond weight takeoff limit, max 62193. 62193. So, how many passengers? What's the payload? Takeoff weight 6.8. So takeoff weight 6.8. Where can I find the weight? Yeah, oh, this is way off. 6.3. It should be 6.3.7. So 6.3, 700. That's what it should be. Let's calculate again. Max 62193. So let's do 62193, and it'd probably be under that weight because of the fact that we're gonna have less. Flex not possible. That's fine. We'll go toga. Flaps 1, and anti-ice off, packs on, and let's go. So, can I set this up? I need 62193, and I need all the fuel. So, zero fuel weight was supposed to be 643. We're going to make the zero fuel weight less. And let's do cargo, 4.6, 3.4. So, zero fuel weight. Okay, we'll take what we can get. Under for cargo, passengers 79, and boarding is instant. Okay, I think we should be fine. I think so. Again, I'm not doing pushback because I'm basically powering this bird up myself. We should be okay at this point. I'm going full toga. Probably gonna do laps 2, maybe. Laps 1 with an up of probably 0.4. So let's go ahead and set that up. Give me the performance. Okay. What did I say that was? Let me see the numbers. Let me see the numbers, please. 123, 128, and 135. Wait. 123, 128, and 135. There we go. Right. Hopefully we do not junk this plane. Flaps 1 with an up of 0.4. No flex temp, we're going toga. And flight plan. We're going to be going to Andy, NatP. What's the flight plan? Andy, NatP, Merritt, Booth. All right, let's take a look. So Charlie Zulu, Victor Lima departure. We're taking runway 08. We are doing the Fiber 2 departure and insert. And then from Booth, we're going to go the Canuck 5 arrival into Vancouver. And we'll do runway 26 left. 26 left ILS. And Canuck 5. Superb. All right. Not on frequency, so we can get rid of the discontinuity. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. We can get rid of the manual and then clear the discontinuity. And then that's it. Everything's connected. All right, so performance is set. We should be able to get out of here right now. And the APU is currently running. So let's see. Nav logo lights, beacons on, strobe is auto, gear is auto, nose light taxi, I'm really chewing through the APU and battery, but we should be fine. That's it. Clear. Let's go ahead and get this bird started up. Okay, give me panel lighting. 257. And we'll go on. Weather system 1, predictive wind shear to auto, GCS to auto, and weather's already set. Let's go ahead and get ignition start underway, and engine 2. So I already feel like this is a massive time savings off of what a typical flow would look like, but there's one major difference. This is a sim. With FS2 Crew in the 737, I was actually doing flows that resembled what you would usually be doing, of course for safety, of course for things like doing all the necessary things you would normally do when you get a plane started up. This is what I usually do for fun, or used to do for fun. But even this is an edge case because I've never started up an Airbus at the municipal parking terminal at Villeneuve. At least I don't remember. I don't remember. And let me go ahead and turn DLSS back on, see what kind of performance gain I get. Let's stick with quality and see what happens. Okay, engine 2 is coming up. That's fine. Let's go ahead and start engine number 1 and go flaps 1 and set the up for roughly 0. Come on, 0.4. Can we go the other way, please? That's weird. It doesn't actually do what I used to do before. Yeah, just go straight down. No, now it does it. It's just slow. Okay, 0.4 is what it is. Initialize weight CG. Did we not set the weight? That's weird. Menu Atsu. Oh, hold on. Used to be a weight and balance here, but I missed it. Yeah, I mean, I think we should be okay. Okay, let's see. Both engines are up and running. Got the APU bleed in the APU. And probe heat on. That should be fine. Yeah, definitely cargo fire. Welcome aboard, my friend. We have the Air Canada A320neo ready to go. We flew in here in a 737 and we're leaving here in an Airbus. This is my last flight for the Canada flying series, Canada flights, excuse me, that I've been doing on stream. And now we should be good to go. We'll hit the block button and we are going to release the parking brake and do a push back, but I will check the flight controls before we get out of here. All right, we'll check real fast. Full left, full right, full forward, full back, full left rudder, full right rudder. Speed brake deploy, speed brake stow, and ground spoiler arm just in case. And we will do max braking for basically, you know, RTO. Happy Saturday to you, my friend. It was very nice to catch up with you yesterday for your races at your race at Sebring and your quick trip on the ring. Hopefully you had a great rest of your evening after I ducked out. I am going to be ready to get out of here shortly. So let's go ahead and get the reversers in. Parking brake release. And that should be it, I think. Gonna taxi back up to runway 08 and get out of here. Well, I hope that your Saturday is a very, very beneficial one for you, my friend. Still have to set up my departure altitude. So let me just double check. What is the flight, the altitude for today's flight? It's going to be 360. Oop, and I'm in the grass. It's okay. It's all right. Okay. I can't tell anybody to set my altitude for me. I got to do this by hand. I also forget how peppy this thing is on the ground. So 360, 360 set, constraints, and hang on a bit. I think I went the wrong way. Back up a tad. Beep, 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 beep. This is the fly-by-wire. All right. Fix that problem. Bit of a fish out of water here, but that's okay. All right. We will hold short here just to make sure we're good to go. Although since I should double check myself. Parking brake set for now. Let's go ahead and do a final cabin check. Cabin check is good. Let's do a takeoff config. Takeoff config normal. Takeoff no blue. Auto brake is set max, and 3 minutes after the setup. So I think we're okay. I'm not flying on frequency. I'm not flying on VATSIM or anything like that. Ignition can go back to normal, and that should be it. Get the landing lights on, nose light to take off, strobe light to on, wing lights on, and that is that. Beautiful. So, flying the fiber to departure, let's get going. Slight downhill slope. We'll line up on the runway, and then we will set the wing view, I guess, on the way up. It'll be louder for that, though, so we'll see. We absolutely slammed the 737 down. It was probably like 450 or 420 for the landing rate. And we just put it down with authority. But it was fun. It was a great flight. Not even gonna lie, it was a great flight. With all the memes. Okay, parking brake release. We'll get it to about 50% N1 and then go manual toga. All right, no time to spare. Toga. Man toga SRS. Airspeed's alive. 80 knots. V1 and rotate. See ya, Villeneuve. Positive brake gear up. Lap 0. 500. Autopilot on. this time. Take care of the TCAS. I thought it was on. There we go. TCAS done. Beautiful. Plenty of runway. Let's go. Oh man, I forgot how much of a jump in and go experience this plane was. But at the same time, there's still plenty of other stuff I would do if I was like, doing it on VATSIM or even on Sane Intentions. But this is a great counterpoint to anybody that watched the earlier stream. I'm just flying solo me in the plane, and I can go ahead and tuck my nose lights away. And we are going to be crossing, actually we did cross 10,000 feet, so landing lights off. No precip. Outside temperature is -4 though. Bye bye, Villeneuve. That was cool. Okay, so about 10 minutes off the pace, or 5 minutes off the pace for chrono. Let's get some flood lighting up front. Beautiful. And there we go. Final flight in the westbound Canada series is on. Wow. I started flying westbound, I want to say it was either late January or early February. We flew, I think it was literally an Airbus A320 or a 737 out of St. John's. And I think we landed in Halifax for the first flight. Then I believe we did Halifax to, I think Halifax to Quebec, Quebec to Montreal, Montreal to Toronto, or Quebec to Toronto, I forget. And Toronto to Sault Ste. Marie, and then this is above Michigan. Then that airport to Thunder Bay, Thunder Bay to Winnipeg, Winnipeg to Calgary, and I just did Calgary to Villeneuve. So here we go. It's crazy and quick, but it's coming to an end. Let's see. Flaps are all the way up, yeah. And I can probably disarm ground spoilers. There we go. That's it. Actually, this kind of comes at a good time because I've been hearing some reports of people flying with X-Plane 12 and enjoying it. So I think the next time I stream, I might do an X-Plane 12 flight just to get a taste of what it's like and enjoy the experience again. Well, let's see. Um, many years ago, like back in like 2019 or 2018, I did flights across Canada in Microsoft Flight Simulator X. I flew from Boston up to Montreal, and then I picked other airports to fly to in different kinds of planes, and eventually I made my way over to Vancouver. And then about a couple of years ago, or 1 year ago, I was like, maybe I'm going to go ahead and maybe I'm going to go ahead and do it again in FS 2020. But I kind of like played around with it, didn't really pay attention to it, and left it alone. And then ultimately I was like, well, hey, I might as well do it. And I decided to enjoy the experience and set up the flights. I had a 737-600 and I found the Pacific Western livery on flightsim.to, and then I installed it, and the rest is history. I think I would like to do X-Plane 12 again, especially since I have Auto Ortho installed, just to see what it would be like to have that experience again, personally. So we are southwest bound to Vancouver. We're going to hit top of climb at 360. I don't see a top of drop anywhere. I don't think so, at least. Let's see. Stave, GoPad, Mogus. Okay. So 70 feet for the touchdown at Vancouver, which is fine. Yeah, I've been in FS 2020 for a while. Yes, you could almost say that, but I was also happy to fly across Canada because I was trying to find, interesting places to fly to. I hadn't flown across Canada in a long time, and I wanted to get some feedback and some participation from my Canadian friends. So there you have it. If I do flights in X-Plane 12, I'm probably going to do them in the States, in Europe, in the Caribbean. I might even fly in South America. I haven't done that enough. I don't know why, but I'm probably going to do that. I think South America needs a lot more patronage from me, especially places like Buenos Aires, Peru, I don't know, Colombia, Ecuador. Might even go to like Venezuela and then go to like Trinidad and fly up the Leeward Islands to St. Martin. Dude, I haven't actually done a Caribbean flight in X-Plane 12 in I don't know how long. That could be a very interesting experience, to be honest. Yeah, man, that might this might open up some new opportunities. Straight up. I don't know, but this is sounding cooler by the minute. Oh, well, cargo, come on. I think a lot of us have done mess ups. I overran at I I overran at Kai Tak and tested the buoyancy of the Tolas A319. It worked really well. So I don't remember seeing your landing at Rio, but it's all right. ATC is very nice. Good. And just like that, about 12 minutes into our flight, we have hit top of climb. All right, so I'm gonna pick auto brake medium and arm my ground spoilers again.
Flight DIGI captain speaking. We've just reached our cruising altitude for the flight. As we begin to settle in, I do want to remind you to please keep your feet and elbows clear from the aisle as the flight attendants will be coming through the cabin with galley cards shortly. Also, one more reminder to please refrain from congregating to the front galley where the flight deck door is located. Thank you.
All right, so let's go ahead and check anything else that I feel like checking up here. This flyback coffee. Drink, drink, drink. I might make another cup of coffee for myself today, not gonna lie. But I've had 2 cups. I might keep it at that for today. I might. So let's go back to the main page. No pinned charts. And we actually have checklists now. This is pretty cool. But I'm also not going to worry about it too much. Alright, we'll leave that there for now. Yeah, it's a very nice looking bird. Look at that. Wow. Hold on. Let's go and stick this in the updated pictures folder. And done. Sweet. So let me check the map. Yeah, we've got a while before we actually get to Vancouver, but I'm gonna double check the Navigraph charts for our flight today and see where we are. Okay. We're going to be taking 26 left, so I want to see when we need to start descending. We do have descent requirements, so the computer should be able to handle the descent. And we're going to pick the 26 left ILS approach, add it, and then literally from Otbot to saved to Duton to the approach, we're going to have everything we need. So I'm going to take a look at the ILS approach. We need I think we go down to 207 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and set the performance. QNH at Vancouver right now. Let's see what that is. Vancouver. Weather is currently 2986. Winds 210 at 8. And the temperature is 14. 2986. Temperature is 14. Winds again 210 and 8. And baromins are going to be 207 feet. Okay, that's it. Config 3. I think I'm missing weight. But for some reason it didn't actually set that up. Okay, now we should have what we need. And there we go. Landing. Config 3 is going to be probably 126. It's a really low speed. There we go. Config 3 selected. And let's see. Strobe, beacon, wing, nav, and logo lights, all lights off. And that's it. And there we go. There's actually the top drop in about 240 nautical miles. So since we're a cruise, I'm going to set the final approach fix altitude, which I believe is roughly 2,000 feet. Hey, Eric Flight, welcome aboard, my friend. Thanks for the party of one. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're very well. I wish you a very, very good weekend. Ooh, Charlie Yankee Papa Sierra. Let me fire up the browser for that. Eric Flight, welcome aboard, buddy. Good to see you. So, CYPS IKO. It's Pemberton General Airport. And this is available on SkyVector. Pemberton, it's got a roughly almost 4,000 foot long runway. One runway, it's runway 06 and 24. Okay. Cool. Can I see the map? Okay, I see it. It's like just north of the, I think, Class Bravo airspace for Vancouver. I don't think I'm gonna see it on the way in, but I might be able to point it out if I can remember where I am. And let's see. Fuel mode manual. Fuel on board. Okay, never mind. We will do a immersion braking refuel in flight because I had 5 point something. I'm either leaking fuel or for some reason it didn't take. So let me fix that. Bloop. There we go. We're fine. Right, superb. That takes care of that problem. Full stream on 2024. Congratulations. I may want to start getting into that more, especially now that I have the 737, the 777, and I have FS2 Crew and GSX. I don't care about FS2 Crew in 2024, but GSX is definitely going to help me with terminal operations. So that's probably going to make it a lot easier for me to get into and out of airports, because otherwise it would just be all for like GA, which isn't a bad thing, clearly. But I'm glad that I have more of an incentive to try it. I just know I can't go above 1080p because my frame rate tanks so quickly. I was telling Cargo Fire though that I'm going to try to do some X-Plane 12 ops soon, so that I can just kind of start flying that sim again and enjoy it. I used to do a lot of A319 and 737-800 flights in X-Plane 12. I also did a bunch of flights in like the Gulfstream when I had X-Plane 11. I don't know if anybody's actually made a Gulfstream for X-Plane 12, but I'm gonna check again. It's been it's been a really long time since I've actually flown a business jet in X-Plane 12. I mean, a business jet in general, but definitely a very long time since I've flown a biz jet in X-Plane 12. That's wonderful. That's great. Mrs. DIGI just having some fun with some crafting she's up to. Gulf 550. Ooh. So this is a payware. Okay. Okay. I mean, I was going to look for only like, freeware biz jets, but at the same time, hey, newer dev. Okay. Might have to investigate that. Okay, so we're going to be coming into the Northern Rockies shortly. And I am. Okay. That's all right. All right. Standby check and step away for just a moment, BRB. All right, I'm back, and we are well on our way to Vancouver to cap our Western or westbound Canada series. Somewhere over the northern Rockies, flying an A320 Neo. Yes, an A320 Neo, not a 737. And all things being equal, the sheer amount of automation in this bird is such a deviation from what flying the 737 is usually like. I mean, the 737-600 has a great autopilot, and we can do LNAV and VNAV, but I'm not doing I'm not doing FS2 crew on this, so I don't have a first officer with me. I could buy one. I could literally buy I think the SOP and the first officer, but it's okay. It's a great counterpoint to what I was doing in the first stream where I was basically doing a whole bunch of stuff with them helping me. It's a great plane to fly with help, especially since a good chunk of the operations that you do involve manipulating dials, flipping switches, getting ready for takeoff and landing, all that stuff. I do like a nice little, comfy A320 flight. My meme-tastic behavior aside. But wishing everybody a very good Saturday evening. I hope you guys have some wonderful plans set for tonight. After I wrap up tonight's flight and go stretch, I'm debating a third cup of coffee. Maybe, maybe not. Probably some tea. And then I will probably either catch some friends on stream later or maybe do some virtual trucking or something of the sort. And and then just like chill. Last week at work was actually a nice change of pace, and I'm hoping that next week is okay. I have a feeling I'm going to have a chance to prove myself, and if everything goes well, it's going to be a marked difference from where I was the same time last year. I'm not going to go into too many details, but at the same time, last year was crummy. Last year was high stress, high output, and I wasn't feeling that well mentally. This year, praise Yahweh, I am much better. Much better. So, happy to be where I am. Would I like to be even better than I am right now? Of course. It's it's like that old 80s, you know, um, learn learn online or by, like remote courses. Do you want to make more money? Of course, we all do. That kind of spiel. But it's been an interesting bunch of weeks and months so far into this year, and nowhere near as stressful as it was last year. So I'm happy about that. I also spent a good chunk of time in February doing virtual trucking in Euro Truck Sim 2. I was doing Japanese trucking and just trying to get the money to buy my own truck. I have my own truck now, and I am doing routes in mainland Japan. I visited I visited Osaka, Kobe, Tokyo, Yokohama. I've gone as far as I think Hiroshima, and I also have a bunch of DLC for American Truck Sim. I might do some ATS trucking soon with some friends, depending on scheduling and whatnot. And like I talked with Cargo Fire yesterday, I'm thinking about setting up an informal, really just relaxed, have fun truck convoy weekly to get together with friends and just have them on frequency and just shoot the breeze and catch up. I mean, I don't know what everybody's schedule is, and frankly, it's possible that many people won't be able to make it based on one thing or the other. But I'm probably going to be shooting for like a midweek stream. Not a, I'm sorry, not even a stream, just a midweek get together where I do trucking in either ETS or ATS. Oh, you didn't know, Cargo? Yeah, there's something called Project Japan. It is a map mod for Euro Truck Simulator 2. You have to have a bunch of map DLC. I think everything up to Greece at this point. You don't need Greece yet, I don't think. I bought it. And the map mod is free. You can download Project Japan. Just do a search on Project Japan online and you should be taken to their official page. Now, the way they have you download Project Japan is, for lack of a better phrase, it could use some solid improvement. But if you follow the instructions to the letter, then you should be able to download it successfully. And essentially, you just install it, set up the mod, make sure you're only using version 1.53 of Euro Truck Sim 2, and then you create a new character and you start trucking in Japan. He said I'm new here. Okay, okay. But yeah, you can actually you can't port your old ETS2 profile into Project Japan. You have to start over. But once you get going, you can do quick jobs until you either take out a loan and get your own truck, or you basically just keep doing quick jobs. You don't have to, go forward or progress. I did quick jobs for a while, and it allowed me to see a bunch of the map. There's multiple regions you can visit. Feeling motivated. Yeah. Um, there are a bunch of map DLCs that you can actually get, and basically they have. Oh gosh, man! If you haven't touched ATS in a while, let me think. There's so many. It's still Western, so you've got like Washington State, Oregon, California. You've got Idaho, Montana. Like everything from like Idaho, Montana on down to like New Mexico. And then you also have the Great Plains states, including Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas. They also made Missouri, and I think they're working either on Iowa or Louisiana next. So eventually, I'm hoping they release, you know, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, and then I can do a like Seattle to Miami run, or like a Cali to Orlando run in a truck. Theoretically, you can do stuff like that using the freeware ATS coast to coast mod, which lets you drive all over the place right now, but it's not as detailed as, say, the scenery that the company that actually makes the sim releases. So that's up to you. Let me increase the brightness on these screens. Unless they're already all the way up. I think they are. Okay. We are about 140 nautical miles from top of drop. Let's confirm. Yeah, 146. There you go. But yeah, it's been a while since I've actually done a stream for ATS, but I don't care about that. I might just like truck when I'm done working for fun. Definitely crossing the Rockies. Lots of rocky Rockies. Very nice. Bit windy. What's the winds right now, actually? Winds are 242, 241 at 14. So, cool. This has been a pretty fast flight so far, and considering we have a 14 knot headwind, more or less, a ground speed of 437 is great. You know, I I might take a break from the 737 for a little bit and actually try flying the default 787 again, just for fun, and do some long haul ops or something. Um, I might try the San Diego to Boston flight again just to see whether or not the sim handles it. But if I do that, I'm probably going to do it off stream just for fun. I, a long time ago, actually did Los Angeles to London on a day off. And what I did was I streamed the departure out of LA and I landed at London about, I think it was like 9.5 hours later. But I mean, in between, I basically let the sim run and I just did that. Oh, I'm talking about FS 2020. I'm not talking about like FS 2024. But if I wanted to do mods, I could go with the either the Kuro mod or I could download the Horizon mod for the 787-900. I like the 787-800. I call it the sports sedan. It's really peppy and it's really it you can cruise I think at like Mach decimal 86. So it's not Mach decimal niner, but it's still very fast and it's sleek. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've flown the 787. I tried flying the default 747, but apparently you can't open doors in that thing. So I had difficulty with flying a long haul flight about a month back, which I cut off at one point because I had to leave to go do something. But I might re-download the Salty Mod 747 just to do 747 ops again because I did like flying that bird and I don't think I flew it nearly enough. You did Toulouse to Seattle. Wow, that's a haul. Believe it or not, I still have P3D installed, and I might actually turn that on tonight just to do some plane watching at like Miami or JFK or something just for fun. I I flew it a few times. Last year I flew from Halifax to Keflavik in Iceland, and I sped up time a bit to make it go faster, but I barely touch it anymore. I'm not going to uninstall it yet because I think I want to fly it a little bit more, and mostly the model matching in P3D I feel is better, but I haven't done a flight in P3D on VATSIM in a while. I might, but in general, the performance of FS 2020 is going to be way, 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 way better for frame rates. But I feel like I have it tweaked to a point where it's better. The 747 and X plane, that's the one from what was that one from? FSS? I I forget what company made it. I mean, I haven't heard of anybody flying the Payware 747 and X plane on stream. Last person I remember flying that was Bish 753, and that was so many years ago. Bish is still around. He just he streams way way less if he does. I think the last time he streamed was the middle of last year that I saw that I happened to catch. Kind of wish I could get back in touch with so many of the other, um, you know, streamers of bygone eras. Thank you. It wasn't FSS, it was SSG. Thank you. Thank you. Believe it or not, I still actually have the X-Crafts E135. I just know that the old X-Plane setup, you had to kind of fudge the startup to make sure you could actually fly it. And so many times I actually borked the pressurization of the cabin. So the the pilot cam would start to get hypoxic and I'm like, wait, how do I set the pressure? I still I still want to fly the E135 again. So I think I might make an excuse to fly it in XP12 since I have it installed there. And of course I have the 757 installed in XP12, but that plane is you you don't casually fly the Flight Factor 757. You pay attention to that thing from startup to shutdown. You have to. But otherwise, oh man, the golden era for X-Plane for me was like about a year before X-Plane 12 came out. I had so many mods installed. I had so many planes installed. I had V-States Ortho. I was doing flights in the Tolas A319 into and out of Vertical Sim Studio scenery. It was great. Nathan's Planes, welcome aboard, my friend. Happy to have you here. Oh, dude, if you have a great flight in the flight factor 757, it's like it's unbelievable. You walk away from the sim going, I feel great because you have to fly like near perfect procedure. Nathan's Plains, great to see you. This is the last flight for the Canada series, man. I'm doing it up in style. I'm not flying the 737. I'm flying the Airbus A320neo fly-by-wire in Air Canada livery. And I remarked at the beginning of the stream just how quickly I could configure the plane to get out, but I mean I wasn't following checklists or anything. And we made it out of Villeneuve with room to spare. We are going to be arriving probably in about 35 minutes or so to Vancouver, and we'll be landing on the 26s. We're landing 26 left. I was talking with Cargo Fire about how once I wrap up this series, I'm probably going to hop into a few other planes and maybe re-download the Salty Mod 747. I also downloaded the A380, and I haven't flown the A380 yet. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but I'm going to take my time. Today I just need to rest and have fun. And the last flight was an absolute meme fest. If you want to go check the VOD, I absolutely slammed it into to Villeneuve in the 737 because the autopilot kind of went haywire right before we landed because I didn't have an approach plate set up for runway 08. I thought I selected it, but I didn't. So I had to manually vector in, and we made it. We landed. We used up the whole runway, taxied back to the parking area. But it was a bit of a welcome back moment. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do from here. I could do a like a bit of a postage stamp thing in the States where I take the 787-10 and go from like New York to Orlando, Orlando to Dallas, Dallas to San Diego, and then San Diego to like San Fran, and San Fran to Seattle, and then fly east from like Seattle to Minneapolis, Minneapolis to Toronto, Toronto to Boston, and then Boston to New York. I don't know. It could be something, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I think the next thing that I'm going to do, to be honest, is probably what's that? Oh yeah, relax. Mrs. Digi interjected. Um, I think what I want to do is just enjoy the stuff that I have. Don't get me wrong. I really like doing flights. What do you need? um, Let me continue that thought in a bit. Mrs. Digi needs a little help, and I'll come back and keep talking about some old stuff. But BRB. Hello, everybody. I'm back. I was helping Mrs. Digi with some stuff. She and I were doing some basically reorganizing and some cleanup earlier today, and she's not she has difficulty getting around. Is a good way of saying it. She can do stuff by herself, but it's very limited time kind of like windowed, and I am her friend and her caregiver, and that's just how life is right now. And her husband. So that's just how it works. But at the same time, she is not a nagging wife, guys. She's so awesome. We try to go out of our way for each other, and she tries to give me she gives me all the latitude. She gives me all the latitude that I need to be a flight sim pilot. And I mean, just in case you didn't know this, Mrs. Digi is obsessed with like airplane stuff now. Ever since she started watching me do flight sim, as far back as Sim Rig 1.0. And for the record, she has actually purchased or she has actually financed both flight sim rigs. She did that. And Cargo, if you're still here, at some point she wants her own racing setup. I mean, and then we're talking about stuff like, like you don't have to buy a racing setup for me. No, no, no. It wouldn't be me buying it because of you. It'd be me buying it because I actually married the daughter of a race car driver. So, yeah, it's a thing. She could drive. She could drive. She could drive IRL. Come on. Come on. My cat's calling me. Come on in. Come in. The passengers are getting restless. The very first officer. There we go. Well, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Talk to me. Maybe talk to chat too. Maybe I'll put her up to the microphone. Well, come on. My cat wants me to come to her. Uh, there's this kind of like exchange that we have on a fairly regular basis. She, I get this feeling. I get this feeling cats do not like eating alone. So, um, a lot of times when I wrap up work, and I'm very fortunate to be able to work from home. A lot of times when I wrap up work and I start kind of like coming into, uh, you know, to relax, she sees me walking back and forth between the office and the bedroom. And she starts meowing and saying, "Hey, like you're done. Pay attention to me." So I sometimes sit with her while she eats, which is cute and amazing. And yes, life goes by really fast. So I want to make sure I respect the important people and pets in my life, like this one right here. I'm grateful to be told that I do. So we are almost at drop. We're like literally, what, 5 nautical miles away now? Okay, so here we go. Seatbelt sign on. And let's see, ground spoiler is armed, and our brake is medium. So we should begin our descent very shortly, amazingly enough. I'll double check the weather when we get down to 18,000 feet at Vancouver, and then we'll lock in on the runway and how to get there, and hopefully have a better landing than we did at Villeneuve. We shall see. But thanks so much for hanging out with me today. And if you were here for the earlier stream, thanks for all the memes and the laughs. So we should probably be down literally in about 25 minutes. closed. Okay, top of drop reached. And yeah, we have the altitude set for the descent, so why you're not descending is beyond me. But that's okay. That should have been an automatic drop, but whatever. We are on the way down. Last descent for the last flight of the Fly West series in Canada. It's been a surprisingly fast-moving, like 3.5 months. For those of you that have followed along here and there, thank you for being a part of the experience. You know, you always feel some kind of way when you get to the end of, like, a story, or the end of like a series of things that you're doing, and you think back on the experience. Usually the kind of stuff happens to me when you get to like the last or the next to last day of vacation. Usually it's like the next to last day of vacation. You're sitting at like a restaurant, or you're sitting in like your room, or you're sitting someplace, and you're like, man, like the vacation wraps up tomorrow, or the vacation wraps up in 2 days. And you're like, man, where has my brain been? I want to enjoy this now, and I have to go home soon. It's like, ugh. But also, sometimes you get down to the end of something like this, for example, and you're like, hey, wow, okay, what am I doing afterwards? I don't know. I uh, I don't know whether I'm gonna fly, blah blah blah. But it's okay. I've actually been messing around with the Commodore Amiga. I have some games, and I have um, like some Nintendo and console system games that I got from a console system purchase that I made, that Mrs. Digi made for me last year. So I've pulled the games out and I have them on my computer, and I've played some Nintendo 64 games on stream, and some, I think, NES and SNES games on stream. I might come back to playing the Amiga. I also might actually hook up the Commodore 64 to my um, to my video capture unit, to play it and to actually share it on stream. My friend Coffee Cup Arcade likes to do music and demo scene from the C64, the Amiga, the Atari 800, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But there are options for me to choose, and I think what I might do the rest of the night is just like really rest, um, do some things, chill, hang out, and say hi to some friends. I miss my family. I miss being around my family like I used to be as a kid. I miss being like under one roof with the people that would occasionally like drive you nuts, because like you would like bicker, or just like argue, or just like not. I mean, we never played pranks on each other, but I mean, you grow up with like your siblings, and like there's like sibling rivalry or something like that. So um, but I look on that now, and I think about my family, and I'm like, man, I wish they were around so I could sit down, have a cup of coffee with them, or just like chill. And I haven't been able to see my parents for a while because reasons. But at the same time, I look forward to the next chance I get. It's not because of anything personal. I mean, I love them so much, and I have them both still. So I would like to spend more time with them, and I plan to do so once the situation improves because of reasons. Once again, reasons. I'm not going to go into detail about that, but basically, it is not due to relationship-based stuff, which I'm extremely grateful for. There have been more than a few people in my life that have actually passed away, passed on over the past, I want to say, 3 years. So believe me when I say that there are things about life that I'm trying not to take for granted at all. And one of them is, hey, if you want to go flight sim, go flight sim. If you want to go drive a truck, go drive a truck. If you want to play retro arcade games, play retro arcade games. Don't waste time thinking about what, like, you need to be doing or something, like I don't know, but like I kind of don't know how to do it. Like, learn. Or I don't know, but I kind of feel like playing this. Then do it. I sold virtually all of my console machines earlier this year because Mrs. DG and I needed to pay bills and make bank, and we did that. We got rid of a bunch of stuff that was kind of taking up space, and we did what we had to do. Am I sad? No. Do I wish I would have kept on a couple of those units that we got rid of? I think one. And that's the thing, like, so many of those things were sitting in my office. And I remember Mrs. Digi once told me, she was like, you're not doing anything with those things in there. You should probably get rid of them. And I was like, I might do that. And then this year that had to happen. And she got rid of some of her jewelry, and it was just like, okay, well, it is what it is. We can we can do stuff. We can buy our jewelry back. We can buy, the consoles back, even if they're not the exact same ones, even if they're different. But the beauty, they could be better. They could be different. They could be fixed up. Hopefully. I mean, there were things that I sold off because I had to. So, like, it happened because reasons, and it also made me glad because it forced me to think about things. Let's see. Weather at Vancouver right now, we have winds 250 at 10, and the altimeter is 2986. 250 at 10. Let's take a look at Bridge. 2986. 250 at 10. This is much more favorable for us. Temperature still the same. So there we go. Okay, temperature. Temperature is what? Temperature is 3 below right now. It's kind of warm. Sheesh. It is kind of warm. Well, I mean, it's going to get warmer as we get closer to the ground, of course, but I'm saying I was expecting it to be a lot colder, but it's not. We're not like, flight level 360 anymore, so it's not that crazy cold like it is up there. Ooh, ooh, we got precip. Give me the anti-ice. We got precip. Oh yeah, and lots of wind. All right, we're on our way down. We got some precipitation, which means anti-ice for anything at, I think, 10 degrees centigrade or below, 10 degrees Celsius or below. And we are approaching 10,000 feet, which is absolutely crazy. Unbelievable that we are coming to the end of the series, but at the same time, it's as real as it gets. Speaking of which, I saw old videos for like Microsoft Flight Simulator 5.0, which I think makes me smile because I actually flew 5.1 on my personal computer at home. I think I had a 386, a 386, yeah, at the time. Okay, some ground contact. We do have precip. And where are we? We're about 40 nautical miles out from 26 left. A little bit less than that. Unbelievable. below 10,000. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. All right, enjoy the view, kids. I'm going to step away temporarily and come back, and we're going to wrap up this flight. Stand by. All right, friends, back and just in time, looks like, because we're approaching the approach. Yeah, we're not that far away from the ILS approach for 26. To minimize this window. There we go. How are we? Yeah, we literally have about 50 nautical miles to get to the ILS approach. That is not the airport. That's a different airport. We do have some precip in the area, but let's see. Oh, okay. Okay, no, no. It's 2. It's not like 8 degrees. It's not 10. So I'm going to keep my anti-ice up because we do have precip in the area until we're like literally on final. Absolute craziness coming down to the end. Comes out of the back of the plane. CCA! Welcome back, buddy. We're wrapping up the Canada series. Glad to have you here. We are almost done, and we're going 180 knots right now. We're not that far away. Did we activate approach mode by default? Looks like we did. Yes, we did. Approach mode is armed. What do we have for speed? Yeah, we're gonna go in with flaps 3. So let's do flaps 1 right now. Oh, dude, looking forward to the pictures. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. Let's see, anybody coming in on my left? I don't think so. We do have loads of precip. Oh, look at the rainbow. Oh, double rainbow, dude. Screenshot. That's great. That is superb. As we turn in. That's great. Couple screenshots of that, and I'm happy. As we fly into the rain again. All right, let's go flaps 2. Looks like WestJet 1799 is going to be coming in to, I think, 26 left as well. So slowing down is not a bad idea right about now. Loads of precip. Loads of it. Anybody else? No. So I'm not going to activate flaps 3 until we're actually on the approach. Arming the approach now. We could probably even go faster, but I'm just going to leave it alone. We are west of Vancouver proper. And man, this weather is amazing. I do wish that Mrs. Digi and I were actually flying back to Alaska for real. We had a great time there back in 2023, in December 2023. We did a family trip. It was unbelievable. There are no words. There are simply no words. Okay, we are turning. It looks like we're going to have some rain between us and the runway, so we'll get set up. Give me landing scales. Flaps 3. And gear down. Wonderful. All right, so flaps 3, gear down. We are literally riding the alpha floor. This is unbelievable. And let's go ahead and get the nose light set for taxi. We'll take the anti-ice off at this point. Turn on the APU, but we won't start it. And I'll get the turn off lights on. Turning lights on. Wonderful. Coming into Vancouver, and we are wrapping it up. Dude, how did like 4 months go by that fast? I don't know. Okay, so let's see. Flaps 3, gear down 3 greens. Auto brake medium on 26 left. On 26 left to get down to what I would assume would be the Air Canada section, we would probably go down to Hotel and then probably go up to Juliet and pick any of the the gates, like, I don't know, 40 or 35 or something like that. So basically I land, I go about half the length of the runway and then exit at either Delta 2 or Hotel, and either cross Delta or beyond Delta and then go to Hotel Juliet and park up. Go around altitude is going to be 2,000, which you already have set. Thanks so much to everybody for stopping in today and to commenting and saying hello. I appreciate your patronage, and to everybody that's been lurking, thank you for the lurk. Really appreciate you. I think runway 26 is right there. And we're getting past a rain burst.
2,500.
There we go, 2,500. Very nice, friend. Thank you. Okay. Gears down. Ground spoiler armed. Seatbelt signs on. Landing flap 3. Landing no blue. And go around altitude is set. There we go. Established on the ILS. And somebody coming in behind us, but I think we've got enough time. Dude, no joke. I straight up wish I was in Alaska right now. Be able to go out with Mrs. Digi to get some some salmon chowder, right? Sending everybody in chat so much love. You are amazing. Yeah, bless you all in Jesus' name. 789 climbing out of Vancouver. I don't know where they're going. Oh, I guess they're going to Japan. Yeah. Nice. Thanks, CCA.
One
1,000 stable. 1,000 stable and committed. I don't care if the AI traffic flies over me. We're doing this. Hopefully there's been no massive amounts of stuttering, but it does look like stream quality has improved. Working on joysticks, very nice. Okay, 500 my aircraft.
400. 100 above.
Going for it.
Minimum.
Continue.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $20, $10, $5.
All right, and down. It's pretty cool seeing the vapor trail behind him, I think, or the brake trail. All right, let's do auto brake disarm and brake fans. I think we're off by Delta 2. Whee! I do believe this is Delta 2, and yes, that was an aircraft, no worries. So we're going to be on Delta, and then we're going to go from Delta to Hotel, Hotel to Juliet, and Juliet to domestic parking. All right, folks, welcome down to Vancouver after, I don't know what, roughly an hour and 15 minutes of flying, hour and 20 minutes. All right. Well, come on down. Let's get the APU started. Strobe. There we go. Just like that, we are in. Out of that truck. All right, so where are we? Where are we? Tell me where we are, please. Okay, we are on hotel. Next thing we do is we're going to turn, probably follow the WestJet in. Is that it? Oh, no. Actually I missed my turn, but we should be able to make that up. Turn right on Lima, left on Juliet, and then we should be fine. This was superb and firm landing once again, but also the landing speed was so low, unbelievably low in my experience. I've never had a speed that low in the sim, but good stuff. Let's go ahead and lock up at probably right here. 42. All right. Is that good enough? That should be, I think. Okay. Parking brake should be set, and let's go ahead and turn off the lights. Wing light can come off, and we have the APU rolling. So let's go ahead and cut the engines. And welcome down, everybody. So roughly an hour and a half later, we are at Vancouver. Let's go ahead and park up and deboard. We're not going to see people deboarding because these are third-party jetways. Let's operate the jetway, and we'll do Air Canada. Right, and that takes care of it. All right, sweet. So, welcome in, everybody.
The doors verified?
Let's get the external power, and we'll get the APU shut down. Weather off, relative wind shear off, GCS off, standby, and I think that should be everything. We'll turn the fuel off, and that should start the APU. That's it. Thank you, friends. Thanks so much for everybody that stopped by today. Really appreciate all of you. We are here now. This is a freeware add-on for Vancouver. I think when I left Vancouver to fly home from my Alaskan trip, I think I was in this terminal. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this looks pretty or somewhat realistic. We had kind of like a spot around here where we ate food. Oh, you know what? It wasn't there, it was here. We went through security and we came in through the front, did a lot of walking, and then eventually we got to literally, I think about here. Yeah, that was it. We were here. And there were some stores here. I ate some food, drank some coffee, and that was where this is exactly where we boarded. We got on the plane here, which was I think a 737 MAX 9 or something, and we flew to Denver. But good stuff. Good stuff. And that's it. That's it. Great day, nice time. We made good time. And we do actually have the ground supporter stowed. Good. Or at least it will be now. And that'll do it. Okay, folks, from the flight deck, just want to say thanks to everybody that stopped by today and said hello, to everybody that lurked, and everybody that came back after the first break. Thanks so much for your time today. Done flying westward in Canada for now. If I come back, it'll probably be a little bit later after I experiment with flying in different parts of the world, especially if I pick up X-Plane 12 and start doing some streams soon, which I want to. I'm probably going to be going to either the Caribbean or doing a bunch of flights in the States or in Europe. CCA, thanks so much. I will definitely tell her that you said hello, along with chat as well. Thanks to everybody that stopped in. And I think the next stream, I honestly don't know. I say in my channel, and I think I say on the channel, in Twitch, and on my Discord, I don't have an idea of exactly when my next stream will be. I've gone unscheduled for a couple of reasons, and one of them is just because I want to make sure that when I'm streaming, that I'm not, what's the word that I'm looking for? I want the streams to be great, and I want to just, kick off a stream and not be like, oh, it's Tuesday, like I just wrapped up work 15 minutes ago, but I gotta start the stream. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And if that means I'm not a career streamer, then that means I'm not a career streamer. I enjoy the experience and the process, and I'm glad that we got to fly these flights today. Ooh, oh, dude, it'll be great to see you, to hear you stream again. I look forward to it. Folks, thanks so much for your time. I'm gonna go ahead, power down, either make some coffee or some tea or both. Eat some food, chill out, and make sure I'm doing the things that matter. God bless you all in Jesus' name. And like I like to say at the end of every stream, if you want true peace, you want the Prince of Peace, and that is Jesus Christ. My friends, thanks for your time. Thanks for all the laughs and the memes. Have a great rest of your Saturday and a great rest of your weekend. Until next time, we'll see ya. Bye. Atari. All right. See ya.